Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fandom Fridays, where we proceed to check out all the fanfics that are not pony related. Why? Because I am busy fixing up my armory here in the studio, and I'm trying to figure out if I should add a wand to my wall or just keep my crossbow check. Because this baby can turn. Because my Machi staff can turn into so many things. It's a wand. It's a crossbow. It's a sword. And it's also probably the only axe I got up here, which is freaking awesome. Well, actually, I got two axes up here, and I'll go to see you, Sam. Thank you. Yeah, forget that. Forget that. Stupid weapons blenders. So, what haven't we done here in a while? Let's see. We haven't done a Dragon Ball thing in a while. We all know how much I love my Dragon Ball. So, let's check out what we're doing with the original, shall we? Let's check out the Optimized Wish Project by Gadho326. Stay here as we hear the Three Berry Memorial Library proud to present that. Enjoy. Optimized Twist Project by GonHope326. Okay. That's not even a screen name. That's just a collection of numbers and words. Story has been inspired by Les Wong's Harry Potter and the Methods of Rationality. Whatever the heck that type of thing is. Wrestle fix, but there are no way I can find in Dragon Ball. Why do I have a feeling this is not going to be good? The motivations of characters expect the story to first wild as we go on, and these changes influence the setting more and more. I still want to keep the feel of Dragon Ball. You want to keep the feel of Dragon Ball with rationality. Now I remind you that Dragon Ball has dinosaurs alive in modern times. And animal people. You are going to rationalize that. The aliens I'm fine with, but you're going to go for that? Why do I have this feeling I'm not going to like this? The child was lying in bed. On his bed sheets wet with sweat. Scruffy hair stuck to his forehead, crusted with dry blood. His breath was irregular, his skin flushed by a fever. He kept his eyes closed and barely moved, except for the rapid up-down movement of his chest and the occasional twisting of his monkey tail. The old man, sitting beside him, had little to do except drenching a trowel in cold water, wringing it, and using it to cool down the child's temperature, damning his own stupidity and carelessness. He could have prayed, but there was not sure that would help. They say you only have 6 degrees of separation at most from any person on the planet. He knew for sure he had 3 from God, and that removed a bit of the mystique from the whole affair. So he drenched the towel and wrung it. Which guy are we talking about here? This is Dragon Ball. Well, Korin's never been specified as a god, so he doesn't count. And you didn't realize he never trained with Kami-sama. Put in the child's forehead and damned his stupidity. So passed the night. At morning, the child looked like he was improving, which really would not have been possible at all, for all the man had ever known of human physiology. By all means, that child should have been dead by now. But again, Bransly's tail that occasionally instinctively wrapped around his wrists, so seeking a comforting touch, reminded him that the child was not human. The head wound caused by the fatal fall off the cliff was frightening deep. He had to coat his own hands in a thin layer of ki to sterilize them and remove them with his own fingers, as delicately as possible. Shards of skull bone from the child's soft and exposed brain, and yet he was recovering. He was possessing incredible vitality. Each wound healing at breakneck speed, skins and bones, muscles growing fast to mend the damage. Really? Supernatural healing? without Scar. Heck, even better before the could have sworn. Harder, stronger, faster. One day he would break his arm in training, and 1 week later he would be back in action. His punches more powerful than ever. Oh really, we're keeping that?! Old man had been wondering what the limit of that ability could possibly be. Now he was discovering it. Of course he didn't have to. At least the child was recovering. Taking almost 1 month, but the bone was slowly seizing close again. Fever was still high, but not as crazy as the first days. He was resting, more or less serene, rather than horribly stiff, just jerking like a Caesar, as it happened in the first days. For the first time in 1 month, the old man allowed himself to relax a bit. He nodded off and fell asleep. Grandpa? He startled back up, thinking he must have only dreamt a voice. The child was sitting up in bed, eyes open up lively, if a bit confused. He looked fine. Goku! Cried the old man. Enjoy. You're awake! Of course I am, replied the child, a bit perplexed. If I were not, how could I be talking to you? Oh, why do I have a feeling I am going to enjoy this? Chapter 1. 5 Princesses and Dragon Balls. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single girl in possession of good fortune must be in want of a boyfriend. Or girlfriend, we don't want to specify. Easily finding one would not be a matter of great concern, more so the girl herself been well endowed by nature with gifts of beauty or grace. That's not the only thing she had been endowed with. Whoa! For some, it may be a question of having means organized by their families with scions of equally worthy descent, so they finally met their perfect match. For others, the matter may be settled less formally, by mingling with people the same age, or parties or other such social gatherings. Mama Breeze, being the eccentric, headstrong, stupendously clever, and exceptionally hard to please heiress she was, elected to grab a capsule case, a few supplies, and go on a road trip around the world, chasing after 7 magical items with a radar of her own making. Now, it might be a legitimate question to ask why would such a smart, ambitious girl, given a chance of having one wish miraculously granted, offer something as seemingly easily bland as asking for a boyfriend. Part of it might have been that she wasn't really sure that any of this was real at all. Shiny glass balls that emitted a weak electromagnetic signal, and ancient stories read in dusty books were hardly proof of supernatural importance. But here's the thing. Again, we do live in a world with dinosaurs and a witch. I think a little leeway in that is Carlos for concern. But it wasn't just that. In her mind, growing up in a house with a vapid mother she couldn't really spend much time with without ending up bored to death, the father, while able to provide more stimulating company, would most certainly pass his life immersed in whatever projects he busied himself at the moment. So he built up the ideal for a boyfriend as a life companion, someone that she could really relate to as an equal, be able to pay attention to her and keep her interest. Sister! Don't forget that one! Jessie had grown up and started meeting boys, and they were all dumb as fuck. Well, she was probably the most brilliant mind in her age group, so that was all very relative. But still, the kind of rich boys you would usually meet were useless, spoiled brats. Whatever brains they had were dulled out by the comforts of an easy, unchallenging life, so she started to despair. She was already 16, so she was absolutely, positively sure she couldn't find a decent boyfriend right now. She would end up alone or together with someone half her brain, like her father had, and then still be basically alone. And it's not like this was without parental abandonment issues or desperate plea for attention or anything. Someone wished for wealth, or power, or immortality. But she already had the first, did not care the second, and the third, well, she wouldn't feel too good about cheating her scientific genius out of a worthy challenge. But a decent boyfriend? Now that would take a miracle. The small car was probably having a business time climbing the twisty, steep roads of Mount Pan. Slowly but surely, low gear and grain, it was making progress. Using a flying vehicle would have been more convenient. But with the dense foliage and uneven terrain all around, it would have been more difficult to find a convenient landing spot. I wish for a boyfriend. Said boyfriend must be a male human in the age range around 16 and 20, who satisfies all my internal physical attractiveness and personal capability up to as high a degree as reasonable. He's not to be coerced into becoming such, but take the choice of his own free will upon meeting me. Our meeting can come to fruition of any circumstance that make it most natural, but not later than 6 months from now. Why 6 months? Prom night. Oh. During a trip, thinking about the exact form in which to become one of Bulma's best ways to kill time, as she drove or piloted lazily across the barren landscapes. She read stories about malevolent genies and monkey's paws, while the lessons about the Dragon Balls did not suggest that Shenron, was Grand Dragon, was malicious. He never knew. It was a nice exercise to look for logical loopholes. Bulma could not stop herself from imagining, with a tinge of pride, as she made acknowledge as the one who laid down the best phrase wished in history by an eternal divine being. Speaking of divine, if Shenron could really do anything, did that not mean he could also create human life? I looked for my boyfriend. Said boyfriend must be a male human in range between 16 and 20 who satisfies all my eternal criteria for physical attractiveness, personal capability, up to as high a degree as possible. He has to exist and have lived and grown up naturally as a human being at the time of his twist. And he has not to be coerced into becoming such, but take the choice of his own free will upon meeting me. Our meeting can come to fruition as under any circumstances that make it the most natural, not later than 6 months from now. Why 6 months? Also, isn't this a little complicated? There, that was better. The thought of having a sentient being materialize at your beck and call for such purposes felt decidedly creepy. Someone was close now. The radar kept blipping, marking a spot somewhere ahead of her. Third dimension indicator suggested she was almost level now. The signal was very clear and strong, which suggested the Dragon Ball must lay somewhere out in the open, or inside a building with thin walls. No caves or thin thisters, luckily. That would have made the recovery trickier. Wait a second. What if the dragon didn't listen to all of her wishes, but just start granting it as soon as she expressed the key request? I don't see how you can figure that one out, but go ahead. Dragon, I will now lay down my wish. It is not to be granted until you again hear the words, please grant my wish. Sounds real. Oh, now it sounds really overly complicated. Listen for a boyfriend. Said boyfriend must be male. Human rights between 16 and 20 who satisfies my all my eternal criteria. Right? That's just it. Oh, come on! Please let's not repeat the same freaking sentence all over again. Fixed. I don't think so. Car entered a large clearing. There was a hut in the middle. So top led down in front of it. No one in sight. The Dragon Ball was closer than 10 meters now. The accuracy of the radar started getting wonky at this range. Well, we need to follow the signal carefully, keep an eye on the blitz fluctuations from a screen. She stopped the car, carefully opened the door, and started stepping out. The silence would have felt almost scary to her just a few weeks ago, and what she had never let to save, but now she was getting used to it. Quietly put a hand on the holster on her belt and drew the gun, with a slightly sinking hand. The rock, almost 2 meters in diameter, flew high in the air, darkening the sun for a moment. Then, as it was falling down, Goku's fist froze to mate in a perfect spot, where every stress would be amplified through his sheet with cracks, and Goku jumped through it. While the stone broke into pieces before him, and ended shattering on the ground. He landed safely on a single foot, balancing himself on his tail, so he did not step on any shards or the rock edges, in spite of the fact that he had boots. The rock was down many rocks. Do you even make sense to think of any more as the rock? Goku thought in slight amusement. None of the resulting fragments had any less of the properties of rockness than the original did, nor did the shape feel especially incongruous, though the fresh edges were to be weathered and smoothed by time and wear. It was time to end the morning training for today, and kind of go lunch. So he went back, where he left his day's catch. The deer had been cleaved sharply in two by the hit of his pole, so it was almost sinking it. Those was merely two halves of one single deer. Its identity had not been lost, even when broken. Was it because the deer had much more well-defined shape than the rock? Was it because it was alive? Somewhere in his animal mind, he still used to have a simple, boring notion of myself that a rock never would. Was it right then to cleave in two, to defy what wanted to stay one? I try not to get too philosophical on this show. I don't want these fics to do it either. Goku sighed as he slapped the animal's remains on his shoulders. Not the first time his music led him to consider vegetarianism, nor the last, most likely. But Grandpa always told him that a healthy martial artist, strong in mind and body, also needed to eat meat to build his own muscle. Well, unless you're a vegetarian, but just splitting hairs. It was not like the forest was full of predators who would kill prey without a second thought just the same. So he cooked the deer, eat it, and his flesh would become his flesh. Would that mean where would the deer end and Goku begin? Excuse me one sec. Carry on with this philosophical crap! Oh my god! This is like, what if Stephen Hawking wrote a story? My brain hurts. Then he saw the infernal creature standing in the middle of the clearing of his house. Next to it, literally face of another human. All his thoughts left instantly slide away and revert back to his purely instinctual self. Like one of those predators he was thinking about a moment earlier. He dropped his cats. In silence, slid the pole tied to his back out of his scabbard. Walked carefully around until the sun behind him. The wind climbed from the front. The infernal creature was now between him and the human. Placed him in a human's blind spot. And that was just fine. He could take one out before even having time to realize what was happening. He did not fear the human. Whatever was unknown was potential danger. Times like this, he would stop questioning. It just act. Swiftly sure, he emerged from the bushes, and with a scream, he commanded his pole to extend. It raised the mass of the portentous monster. All the noises almost tried to click the air out from the middle of this god's-forgotten mountain wilderness. Scrappy-eyed car compactor was not what he expected. Heart quickly turned around to see a kid with wild, scruffy hair and a monkey's tail, systematically turning her car. An equivalent amount of bent metal, shattered glass, with a pole that was apparently made of wood, at least 3 times his body length. She blinked. Yep, still the same scene. She rose her gun to a level. Stop doing that! She screamed. The kid stopped and raised his eyes to meet her. He did not look as feral before, but didn't seem scared either, though his body language made him look somewhat wary. Rather, his eyes betrayed only a glimpse of genuine curiosity. You could lower your weapon, he said. At least, that's what I imagine it is. It is, answered Bulma, certainly relaxing her grip. She didn't feel like shooting the young kid anyway. I used to pass my car, but are okay with me. You, I know I could beat, he stated matter-of-factly. That felt unnerving, coming from the boy who just wrecked a car with one staff. Well, here's to helping you want me to, said the girl, putting the gun back in its holster. Who are you? An interesting question. What would you expect to be a satisfactory answer? I could give you my name, of course, but that would not convey anything of my true essence. It is, after all, but a conventional moniker used to refer to a person that is myself. In fact, it could be said to be even more devoid of meaning, as of right now no one alive knows my name except me, so I could tell you anything else, or it would be equally foul. Ah! Shut up! Yes, shut up! My God, your speech is incredibly long. Yes, shut up! Still not telling you much about who I am. This simple series of events does not inform me how those events shaped me, nor does it define a man who would be in faint faces right now, as this is me that has gone through them and has been changed by them. Oh my God, he stopped. Never question a guy who has enough guns in here for a small army. Your name will do fine, uttered Bulma. All these possessive for a wild kid with a monkey's tail grew up in the mountains. Philosophizing was not one of them. Very well, we shall sell for now, the kid answered, shrugging. My name is Son Goku. Nice to meet you, Goku. And my name is Bulma Breeze. She stood still, raised her, while Goku walked slowly closer and inspected her. He ran around and even prodded her with a pole. Bulma noticed the pole looked shorter than before, but thought better about inquiring at this moment. She needed to get out of this pinch first and earn his trust. Still, she was obviously curious about that. You seem all right, concluded Goku. I don't think you're dangerous. Still, your body is unusual. I assume you are female? Does it look like memories? How tactful, Riley commented Bulma. Why, yes, I'm a girl. You've never seen one, have you? Question for the audience. I hope you don't mind me asking this so-called rational thickness, but how would Goku know what memories are if he never saw booze before or saw them in the book? I mean, does Gohan have a bag just laying around? Did Grandpa tell them what booze were for? Where did he come up with this idea? I'm just saying that we kind of need for verification. Yes, my girl. Never seen one before, have you? Read mentions about them in books, Goku commented absentmindly. And I see that animals have males and females, so it does seem natural to me. Books? You have books here? My grandpa used to bring me lots when I asked. After he died, I haven't got any new ones, though. All registers potentially useful information. She wasn't sure she had any books beyond science texts and instruction manuals with her to trade with, but it would not have been too hard to get more. Very well, you don't seem like a puzzle teacher, concluded Goku. How can you tell me about that thing? That thing you smashed to pieces was my car, answered Bulma, not without tinsel irritation. Don't really know about them. How sheltered are you? I imagine books would mention them. Mine don't. What's it for? It was a piece of machinery, like a carriage that moves on its own. Oh, transportation. I see. Goku almost seemed disappointed. Guess I got alarmed for nothing. I apologize for destroying your property, he concluded, bowing slightly. Seems politely. Bulma finally realized and smiled. What's done is done. Don't worry. I have plenty of replacements for it, she laughed. But still, I see you owe me one, Son Goku. Suppose that's fair. He said he considered it safe, but still, he seemed perpetually on his guard. He did not stop for one moment, looking inquisitive about her clothing and general appearance. Well, not too strange, given this is his first time seeing a girl, apparently any human at all in some time. He sat down on a rock a couple of meters in distance, and nonchalantly kicked his staff out of scabbard, leaning on his shoulder. You're very strong. I learned martial arts from my grandpa. Now I train myself every day. Well, yes, but you seem stronger than I expected. Human muscles should not be able to do something like that. She waved to the direction of the smashed car, no matter how strong they get. Oh, really? Let me point out the problem with that sentence. Alright, Smokey! Roll the clip! Hercule pulls a whole bunch of buses. As you can see, this is Hercule. He is a normal human. He is pulling a whole bunch of series of buses! I think you realize what this means! The humans do get this strong in the Dragon Ball world! So don't pull any of that crap with me, Bulma! You should know better! This is a problem! Well, obviously your knowledge is wrong, calmly replied Goku, because I just did that in front of your eyes. And they'll tell you, my grandpa was stronger than me, and he says Master was stronger still. Oh my god, thoughtful. I wonder, how likely is someday you allow me to test your strength? In combat, you would not stand a chance. Mine now, she laughed. I'm machines. Well, not here. Forget it for now. I see. So, have you come this far looking for me? Goku's eyes got a bit more suspicious. To test my strength? Not at all. I know that you're here. Wait a moment. We'll turn around. She grabbed a sack and started rummaging into it. She pulled out two glassy orbs, roughly the size of a grapefruit. They had a small star shining inside. I'm looking for these. Goku extended a hand. Bulma had a moment of hesitation, but let him take one of the balls. Touch it and weigh it. They're called Dragon Balls. Ancient artifacts. And I know that one of them should be around here. I know, said Goku. It's in my hut. Mine has 4 stars inside. From this one that has 5, I can imagine there are at least 2 more out there. Bulma blinked. This boy, she realized, it was pretty smart. He lacked experience and knowledge of the world, going up and alone in a hut in the mountains and all. But still, his logic was quick and steady. And really boring! More so, he was incredibly strong. He looked peaceful, now, but he was still wanting to wreck their car only a moment ago, without a moment's hesitation, nor knowing what it was in the first place. She started seeing the potential danger in telling all the truth. She would have to tread carefully. 4, in fact. There are 7 in total. I'm looking for that thanks to an invention of mine, a radar. A radar? A machine that tells me where something is. She kept it in her bag, though. The kid would not have been able to tell which it was if she didn't show him. So why are you looking for these balls? Well, they're rare, unusual, and rather pretty. There's a legend that says when all seven are gathered, a dragon appears and grants a wish of you chosen. Imagine that. So yeah, an afterthought and a chuckle. So, you're curious about this legend to find out it's true? I'm skeptical, but I've seen weird things. You are one of them now, and I am a woman of science. So I'm willing to do the experiment, so to say. I hope you're responsible, or likable, romantic, and with sculpted abs. Do you want me to part with my Dragon Ball? Not for free, of course. I would pay you, or buy you anything that can be bought. I'm very rich. I do not care much for possessions, said Goku with a pensive look. You are supposed to earn most more than I do, yet you are the one risking your life. Traveling the world. Oh, will you shut up again? Until you can afford the entirety of East City's public deck with Pocket Night, I wouldn't. Not all things can be bought with money, and all that I have does not mean that I could wish for more. The way I see it, living in the mountains, alone, you don't even know what you could wish for. Except that you don't have any wishes. Rather, you do not even know your own wishes. Interesting thought. Still, I do not want to part from my Dragon Ball for any price. Why is it? It has no value alone. Goku, sitting across his leg and gazed off into the sky. Goku, I'm going to make a deal with you. If you promise me to stop your philosophizing and stop talking like you know everything, I promise I will not use my golden Zeo staff on you. And believe me, I have been dying to find a thing to use this. It's belonged to my grandfather. When I examine my own feelings about it, they are complex. The rest of my nose is now an object, yet it feels like it's a link to him, to me, to my own soul still residing in this house. I apologize for not making any sense. Almost fine. She didn't know if she would have really gone with this old man. What the kid was talking about made her wish she had met him. You're making more sense than you think. I understand what you mean, but, she suddenly got up, clapping her hands as she sank the melancholic mood she wasn't too fond of. We are a bit of an impasse here. What do you say to this? You come with me, bring your Dragon Ball with you. When all seven are gathered, we try to summon the dragon. And if, that's most likely, nothing happens, then you get to bring it back here, have some fun trip on the side. What do you work? What happens to them? Well, in that case, wait, why do you think something happens at all? I'm not sure, said the kid, thoughtful. I was just thinking. I think you've really granted a wish. It could be used repeatedly and kept together in the same place. The first one who gathered them will still have them, and rule the world as the immortal God King by now. But they have been used like that! How do you think the King of the World came to be? Kale's out of the bag of this one. I'm pretty skeptical not to tell him anyway. Right, what's they use, supposedly, to ball scattered around the world, and they're inactive for a certain amount of time. How much is that, 1 century? Actually, that's where you're wrong, Bulma said with a grin. According to the stories, it's only 1 year. I guess the ancient ones didn't count on me and modern science to break the game so early. It might have been a daunting challenge in times past, but now I can fly around the world in space in 2 days, attract the balls wherever they are. So basically, if they do work, I can guarantee a yield of 1 wish per year. It is a lot, said Goku impressed. And that's why Dragon Ball GT does better than... What was that? The Dragon Ball Super! It really actually... Excuse me 1 minute. It shows that how the Dragon Balls were abused and how they were messed up and how everybody used them for... Excuse me, sir, Mr. Swellman. Could you do me a little favor? Or what's that? Could you repeat to me what GT did better than, say, Super again? Well, it's just that GT with the Legend of the Seven Dragons showed how effective that they were, and how they had been abused over time, and where you got your Zeo Staff? Told you I've been dying to use this. Before I blow you to Kingdom Come, answer me a question. How did the shadowy energy stay after they were destroyed the first time? What? You know, like in the original Dragon Ball? They were destroyed by Piccolo. I don't know! I thought as much. See ya. Gold Rush! Killing a helpless man for having a bad opinion? I live for it. Wrong, I know, but I gotta have some fun, right? Come on, I was joking. I would never go for something that boring. So that's what makes you feel there for the world. It's not me to have a controller, said Nazi. Means I can offer you something else. What that would be? Paul stretched her hand with one finger out, right in front of Goku's face. One wish. If it works, 1 year from now, you get to be the one who gathers the Dragon Balls again. With my help, it has his wish granted. What about my Dragon Ball? I would need to wait 2 years to have it back then. I'm offering you 9 omnipotence, Goku. Thought you were smart. Forget any dusty old memories of your grandpa. With one wish, you can have him back. Well, no. You see, I used to think that there was just a year limit, but now I know better. It's not so much that there's a year limit, it's just that logically, if you were to wish somebody to come back right now, they would be a skeleton. If you were to wish, say Martin Luther King back right now, his body would still be a skeleton due to decay. Fine about this. She was manipulating him. It says she was, but it's not like she was lying. She really would offer him that. Heck, if the Dragon Balls work, she would sure find a way to make the best out of them. Well, what's for the person who helped her make that come true would be the least she could offer. Thanks, but no, replied Goku. After a long pause, Grandpa always said that people who die go in heaven and are happy forever. I do not know if that has to be true, nor see how anyone can be sure, but the idea appears a lot in the books I read, and I cannot know how enough to discard it. If he really wants to such a place, bringing him back here for my own enjoyment would be an act of selfishness. Oh, come on now. You don't really believe, Bulma said. Stop yourself. Of course you believe. He needed to. And they were all talking, resurrecting people with a magical wish-granting dragon anyway. And that was really possible. And afterlife wouldn't be too big of a deal either. Well, how about this? She suggested. You come with me, we find the other Dragon Balls, and travel together. You get to know more of the world, and understand more of what you could have outside there. Broaden your knowledge, and maybe get some ideas out of this. Or you understand better what you want. At the end, if the balls don't work, you get to have your own back, and all goes back to normal. If they do work, I'll give you the hospitality city for 1 year. You teach about the world, science, or anything you'd like to know. You can read my books, too. Then we'll go, find your Dragon Ball, then you can decide where if we stop when we find it. Then you get custody of it. Or with your new knowledge, you'll have a way to use it. Of course, there was a dangerous path. You might really want to hold on to the ball. Also, it mean that using them again would have been extraordinarily hard. But Bubba was confident that 1 year was enough to corrupt this small aesthetic philosopher into a healthy desire for some kind of supernatural boon. Then again, she was not taking all this really seriously at some level. Because granting dragons, come on! Yeah, it makes about as much sense as animal people, as dinosaurs existing in the current era, and talking dolphins, and oh look! Here comes Gamera! He's the fight of all children! And that's not even getting to some of the other mystical weapons. I accept, he said. The sensory experience I had to gain from just looking at you and the things you own tells me there's a lot my books left out about the world. Come to my hut. I'll pick up the Dragon Ball and a few things for the trip. Having just been successful with an orphan over a precious memento of his only father figure, Bulma kept her exemplary press part mostly eternal, for the sake of decency. The hut was tiny and cramped, but mostly clean. All of it smelled of dust and old paper. Bulma finally got to lay her eyes on books that the kid's fabled grandpa had hoarded for over the years. It was indeed a weird selection, a hodgepodge of random texts that were probably as much a product of chance as they were a choice. A lot of them looked really old, and Bulma wondered if there was some monastery close, where the old man occasionally bartered for a copy of a manuscript, because they seemed mostly religious and philosophical texts belonging to fairies' martial arts master's school of thought. She thought she heard some of them, either simply a result of a purchase from a traveling merchant, or perhaps she found some lost to some tourists hiking across the mountains. Still, none of them seemed enough to go in depth, or be new enough, to teach Goku something as basic as what a car was. In the only clean corner of our room, free from all encumbrance, lay a small altar. On top of it, sitting in a red cushion with gold trimmings, was the 4-star Dragon Ball. It was persistent so that it was about this time of day. A ray of light would fall on the hut's door, shining like an orange sun in the dim light of the room. Looking at it like this, it did have something holy about itself. Bulma felt unreasonably guilty at the thought of removing it from there, likely never to put it back again. This and this, said Goku, finishing his rummaging a small pile of text around. I have all I need to bring. We can go. Next to him was a mere pile of badly yellow round paper. Well, you certainly need not have to worry about writing out stuff to read, huh? Don't worry, I'll carry them. Good training. No, you're not. We're not walking. I said I had replacements for the car. Goku looked around puzzled. But surely you must get them from the mountains first. I don't see anything here. What about those be? Bulma chuckled and patted her bag. Right here, country boy. Right here. Interior objects have properties like extensive mass that don't naturally change. Goku protested calmly. Nothing that fits inside that tiny bag would carry us. So you please sell, of course. Bulma was full on boasting mode. Alright, blast. Let me introduce you to the wonders of science, country boy. I am the daughter of the priest family, heiress of the fortune of Capsule Corps. It's all thanks to us that the world stopped worrying about meaningless stuff long ago. So he strapped a small box from her bag and opened it, and revealed a number of elongated capsules, carefully numbered and slid aside. She grabbed one for a bit of consideration and walked outside, trying to make her chest as theatrical as possible. She clicked the button on the capsule, pulled back her arm, and tossed it to the ground. As soon as it hit the soil, the capsule exploded in a puff of smoke. As it dissipated, a huge, powerful motorbike with a big tail pack for legs appeared. Ta-da! Ah, so it was a magic item, said Goku. And I think you have one too. This is not magic, it's just science. Careful and creative enough application of quantum field theory, tweaking around with the intricacies of paths that allow non-equivalent conversion of mass and energy. Awfully convenient. Well, I remember reading about a paper how a hypothetical universe, whose laws strictly enforce mass energy conversion would look like. And damn, that would suck so hard. I didn't understand a single word of that. Are you sure it's not magic? Completely different. Science makes sense, while magic doesn't. Or wouldn't if it did exist. Seems contradictory. We're going on a whole trip to find 7 magical items. You don't think magic is real? I've never seen it. I had to find out it does exist. Searching for magical items here, but one way to do it. And I get what's thrown in. You don't need the Dragon Balls for that. I have a magical item right here. My power bow. The needle bow. Goku grabbed the extremity of the pole and stretched it from his scabbard. Right, I've been asking about that. It seemed to me it started longer earlier. Obviously made of simple wood. Not like you could possibly kneel by stand! The pole magically extended to thrice its normal length, conking Bulma right in her forehead. This is one of those fics that, while well written, it's not really good. I think my biggest problem extends from the basic premise. And that is, you're making a rational fic with Dragon Ball! Do I even need to say the problem with this idea? Let me put it this way. You're trying to make rational sense out of a world with dinosaurs, talking dolphins, and Gamera is a Master Roshi speed dial. That doesn't only not make a lick of sense. Not only does that fly in the face of everything I know about what it means to write something that actually makes sense, but it just feels like you're trying too hard. Now, a fic with a smart Goku could work, and a fic with a Bulma as the protagonist could work, but this doesn't. Add on to the fact that you said at the beginning, I had to change a couple of things around the universe to make this work, and it just doesn't. And furthermore, by doing all this rationality, I just realized something while reading Goku's dialogue. It was boring! Congratulations, you just made Goku boring! You know the earlier sketch when I beat somebody down? That came from a comment on one of Moscow's vids about the whole entire things GT did better than Dragon Ball Super. And I saw a comment that just made me want to bash my head in, where it said, Super made sure that Goku... Super made Goku dumb! Guys, Goku's always been an idiot. He has always been a big, dumb, loves to fight idiot! No! He's not some sort of Superman! I gotta beat the bad guys! Type of character! He is an idiot! A moron! A baboon! Somebody who, doesn't have that much of a brain! That's the way Akira Toriyama designed him! He's not some sort of superhero! Akira Toriyama didn't design him that way! Akira Toriyama didn't make him to be this big hero! He made him a bland character so people could throw jokes off of! How is this a hard concept to comprehend? And by trying to add rationality to something that's not, rational, you're taking away one of Dragon Ball's best parts! You are taking away the comedy! That's another thing. By doing that, you kind of forget why Dragon Ball's actually liked. And you just gotta start asking yourself questions about how this author's going to interpret some of the more insane parts of Dragon Ball. This one chapter just makes me want to slam my head and just go, dude, get a life! Well, not the worst fic I've ever read. This feels like one of those fics one of those forum posts I read where somebody goes, I think I know better than the author. When I look over this thing, that's all I'm seeing. And yeah, I looked at the TV tropes for Harry Potter. Yeah, the original stuff is stupid! That was one down, fastest more to go. Hope this guy gets a life.